welcome back to my channel. This week I'm going to be starting another PhD week in the life vlog. So it's Monday morning, got a lot to do today. I lecture Tuesday morning, so I have a lecture to make for tomorrow. I have it drafted. I have to finish it up, add some human health questions and other stuff into it. And I also, I'm a science reporter for Utah Public Radio, so I have to finish and record a story that I'm working on that I think is going to air tomorrow. So I have to do that. And usually I have a lab meeting today, but it's canceled. I am going to pop into the lab though to just grab a few assay calculations. And yeah, it'll just be a long work day today. Usually Mondays and Tuesdays are like my busiest, longest work days, so I'll probably be working through tonight. Yeah. Here's my little outfit for today. And I'm gonna show you the sky because it's really dark and gray out today, kind of rainy.
I can't wait, life will teach me. Jumping out, I'm falling free. There's no escape from my own walls. I'm ready now to feel it all. I don't know why I'm in this darkness for so long, so long. Let me out, open a door and show me a way to go.
So I'm back home and it is like early afternoon, 2-ish. Super productive morning. I did forget to mention a couple of things earlier this morning. I had a news meeting where we discuss with UPR, we discuss like what everybody's working on and what stories are going out this week and stuff like that. And then I dropped ballots off, make sure I voted because it's Monday, November 7th, and they're due tomorrow, so I dropped them in the ballot box. And I did produce my story that I was working on for Utah Public Radio. It was like this Alzheimer's study that will come out tomorrow, and got the calculations I need from assays that I did last week, so did that. Very productive. And now I have to work on teaching tomorrow because that's just the way it goes. It's definitely like I'm at the point in the semester where it's just like really busy with everything, particularly the class I'm teaching. And I mentioned before, but I'm teaching an intro bio class for non-majors. It's called Biology and the Citizen. It's a cool class and I'm really glad I am teaching it because it's just like all intro concepts, which I think is really fun and interesting to teach. And I do have a lot of resources to use, which is really great from previous people who've taught it, but I can also like do whatever I want essentially, as long as it's like within the realm. So I do a kind of a mixture of like incorporating other people's slides and other people's lectures and doing mine. And I do find it's a lot easier to lecture when I make my own slides, which is tough because it takes a lot more time, but I feel like my lectures are better that way, so I've been trying to do a lot more of that. It just takes a lot more time. But yeah, today I have like read the chapter already because we're doing evolution, and it's a whole unit. So this week we're talking about the mechanisms of evolution. Particularly, we'll be talking about natural selection this week and speciation and a couple other things. So I have to make that lecture for tomorrow, and I'm also incorporating these like learning pauses. It's a really big class. I have 160 students, I think, and that's been really interesting because I've never had a class that big, and it's a lot harder to do a lot of interactive stuff. So it's mostly me lecturing, and I feel like that can be kind of boring. So I've been trying to incorporate everything else I can. But anyway, yeah, that is the situation. So I'm gonna work on that. Probably, I usually take like a few breaks to like read, maybe go outside, do some other stuff. But Monday is usually like I work until like almost midnight. It's not a great habit this semester, but that has been how it's going. And then I wake up at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning to go prep, just go through my slides one last time, and then go teach at 7:30. So that's what's going on. I probably won't film too much more today because it's gonna be a little boring just me sitting here working on slides. But have my tea. I did a gingerbread spice because I feel like we're like moving into that season, and I thought I'd be really sad for October to be over in spooky season, which I am because it's the best. But I do feel like November is still a very fall month season, and like up through December I feel like is very festive. So I'm still feeling very mood driven in terms of reading and all sorts of stuff. You might see this week I will read more of our book club pick for this month, Daughter of No Worlds, which I mentioned in my last vlog. But yeah, reading that and a couple of other things. So that's what's going on for today.
Something new.
Good morning. It is a little after 7, and oh my gosh, it's cold and snowing so much. Can you see? I wonder if you can. No. Anyway, I'll show it in a bit. We'll see how many people are in class this morning, but I'm about to go teach, and then I have my office hours, and then I have to work on a couple of projects. I need to spend a couple hours doing some stuff for a paper for my research, which I think I'm actually gonna have time to do today because I have a class that's been canceled because the professor is at a conference. And then our like grad student association is hosting a clothing swap and a dinner, and I'm not sure, we'll see how much time I have to go to either, but it'd be nice to go and see people for a bit. And it is also Tuesday night, so I usually go over to my friends and we watch a show. We just finished Alice in Borderland last week, so I think we're gonna start like season 2 of One of Us is Lying. So that is what is on for today.
Get on the plane, I'll pick you up. The sun will rise. Welcome to my desert home. We're riding away. the sky. Hide from the blue. Happiness you never knew. Your hair in the breeze.
I haven't checked in at all today. It is Wednesday. Had a really chill morning. Did some emails. Did work at home for a while. And then on campus, I just had to check in at UPR to discuss some radio stories that I'm working on. And now I'm going to meet my friend for coffee. So I will maybe check in a little bit as well. It's been a little bit crazy this afternoon, even though the morning was super chill. So.
Drop on your tongue. An orange horizon will bloom. Come around, I'll show you all the places that I know. Meet my friends, I'll take you where the sunlight meets the shore. Come around, we'll rent a car and drive from coast to coast. 100 miles until we dive into your favorite song. I'll show you all the places that I know. Meet my friends, I'll take you where the sunlight meets the shore. Come around, we'll rent a car and drive from coast to coast. 100 miles until we dive into your favorite song.
Okay, so I am just about done for the day. It's about 12 o'clock. I've been reworking my lecture for tomorrow. It's a long story, but I wasn't gonna be able to fit everything that I wanted to talk about. So I had to take some things out and in turn rework some stuff. Anyway, I also had to make a study guide for an exam that my students have. It's going to be available starting next Thursday. So I wanted to make sure they had a study guide. And then I also, gosh, what else? I don't know, all sorts of things, mostly for this class. I do have to finish making their quiz for this week. And then I'm gonna go to bed, wake up really super early. It's very snowy outside. So that's fun. I'm a little bit worried about what tomorrow will bring, but I have to be on campus in the UPR studio at like 6:15 because I have an interview with somebody on Eastern time at 6:30 my time, so Mountain time. So yeah, that is a little bit rough. And then I teach at 7:30, so that is what is gonna be going on tomorrow morning. I'll probably check in like after teaching and stuff. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. for Utah Public Radio. I'll have to work on putting the story together later, but right now, adding something to my lecture for this morning. We do these like human health questions at the beginning of each lecture, and I need to add a little bit more for my question this morning. And then it's 7 a.m. right now. So then in a few minutes after I do that, I will head over to the biology building for class. So that is what's happening after class as usual. I have office hours, but I think I will stop by the lab. I have to do something real quick. I have to autoclave something. What else? Yeah. Depending on when they want this story that I'm working on, I might work on that and then go home. My friend and I are supposed to do like a study day today where we I'm gonna go over to her house and we usually like put something we've watched a lot on the background and work on stuff together. So we haven't done it in a little while, so we'll see though if I have to get this UPR story out today or what the timeline is for that. Yeah. I'm back at UPR doing my radio stuff. Usually I don't do this much radio stuff in one day, particularly, or even in 1 week, but it's been a crazy day. I had that interview this morning and then I wrote it all up into a script for myself, and then I got an email on a court ruling that I was reporting on the story for. And since that kind of thing is timely, our news director wanted it out soon. So I worked on that, got it finished, and that's what I was recording in the middle of the day. And then I went to my friend's house, did some more work, both some stuff for radio, website stuff, and some research slash stuff for my class that I teach. So yeah, it's been a little busy. We like watched Harry Potter in the background. I thought I was actually gonna take a break, but then I remembered I had some kind of urgent things to do, so did those things and went home. And actually it was like just as I got home, my friend came to drop off a book, which I'll show you. She made a trip to Barnes & Noble's and got me the Barnes & Noble's Court of Silver Flames edition. I was waiting to buy that book until it came out in paperback, which I know it did like a few months ago, but I just hadn't got around to getting it yet, and I decided I wanted like the black Silver Flames Barnes & Noble's edition. So she got it for me. She dropped it off, but she ended up staying, and we had tea and chatting, and another friend came over, and so we just chatted for a while. So now it's a lot later than I expected to be here. But I had a story that was already planned to go out tomorrow, so I just have to come in and do some editing on that. I already recorded for it earlier, but yeah, so I'm like really in my pajamas. Don't do this usually, and it's like 10:30 I think, but yeah, here at 6 a.m. and then here again at 10, starting in the day. But I did do a lot of stuff for the class I teach today also, kind of in between everything. And yes, tomorrow I need to do research stuff, and I need to make exam 3 for my students, finish doing that, uploading it to like the site we use, and yeah, work on my lectures for next week. So that is what's going on. I'm pretty sure my partner and I are gonna go work at a coffee shop for a while. That should be really nice tomorrow. And I may have a radio meeting for like a collaborative story, so we'll see. Yeah. The Institute recently provided the Okay, have not chatted in quite a bit. It is Saturday. Friday, we worked at coffee shop and had lunch there for the morning slash early afternoon. Came back, did some more work, mostly emails and kind of like random stuff here and there. And then I read, what did I read? This. I've read this book before, but I didn't have a physical copy until my friend went to Barnes & Noble's the other day and got this copy for me. So I was like, gotta read it. So I've been doing like kind of like a really quick read of it, and I'm almost done. I don't usually count rereads towards like my overall year goal, but yeah, doing like a mini quick read of this. And then this morning, Saturday, woke up. I read my pages. We had about 100 pages of this to read, so I read that for book club. Then we had that this afternoon or morning, and that was super fun. We chatted up the book, talked about a lot of other things. It's a fun book to read. I think I talked about it in my last vlog, but it's about Tisana, and she is she is a slave in the beginning, and she gets free. I won't say exactly how, but she kind of frees herself, and then I've been tapping all of our book club books, but Tisana gets free. She goes to this place like the Orders, where they train people who use magic, and she's like partial magic, Voltaine, I think they're called, and there's other types of like magic people too. Solari, I think they're called. Max, the probable love interest, is a Solari. So it's fun. Right now Tisana is training with Max, giving me very Throne of Glass vibes, even though actually that is another update right now, which I'm doing a separate vlog on Throne of Glass. I haven't really talked about it in any of my main vlogs, but I'm currently on this book. So I've read Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, and Crown of Midnight. Did not like Crown of Midnight, but I've been stuck. And I think it's because I didn't like Crown of Midnight, so now I'm like partway through this and struggling to continue for like a month or something like that. So I just borrowed the physical books because I had them on Kindle. Borrowed them from my friend. Gonna try to read these two maybe this weekend. We'll see. I need to just like buckle down and finish it, but it's giving me very this vibes, which has also made me want to read this. So that's where we're going with that. But I'm also in the middle of this reread, so we're in like a little fantasy corner right now. I have a lot of other things on my list. I've also been reading, I guess I'll just do like a total update, Treacle Walker by Alan Garner, which was shortlisted for the Booker Prize this year, which is why I started reading it. It's a nice short read. I'll just read the back real quick. An introspective boy, Joseph Copper, squints at the world with his lazy eye. Living alone in an old house, he reads comics, collects birds' eggs, and plays with his marbles. When one day, a rag-and-bone man called Treacle Walker appears, exchanging an empty jar of a cure-all medicine and a donkey stone for a pair of Joseph's pajamas and a lamb's shoulder blade. A mysterious friendship develops between them. So I've just read the first couple of chapters. Not that much. We have been introduced to Treacle Walker, but it's more like literary, I guess. So very different vibes. I do also have one more update, and I didn't know if I wanted to talk about this right now, but I guess I'll tell the mini story, or else I feel like I'm just never gonna get to it. Oh, my phone is literally recording on my phone. So I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw a book ad. I don't usually click on them. I have just so many other things I'm reading that I just kind of scroll past them, but for some reason this one caught my eye. I forget what it said. It was something about like werewolves and mates, which I'm actually surprised that caught my eye, because I feel like the mate trope can be overused in fantasy. But I saw this and it was like, oh, this boy leaves her heartbroken when he like goes off for 4 years, finds his mate, and like comes back, and she thought that they were gonna be mates, so she's heartbroken. And then she goes to this ball like the king holds, who ends up being her mate but the king. So I was like, oh, interesting. So I downloaded this app called Galantia, I think. Horrible app, do not recommend. Definitely contributed to the awful reading experience of this book. Like, I'm not even sure I want to talk about it because I feel so bad, but I also almost feel obligated to talk about it, especially the app, because it was that bad. The book was called The Lycan's Queen. kind of hard to find anywhere. It was like tied to this app, which was horrible. It lets you read the first 5 chapters, and then you have to either like pay by chapter or by book, which is like all the prices were outrageous and like ridiculous. And I'm like, are they actually making money? I don't know. It was totally ridiculous. You could like wait 6 hours, I think, for the next available chapter, like for a free chapter. Ridiculous. Just like in so many levels, ridiculous. So I was so over that. I was like, no way, we are not doing this. I went to Scribd and I found, just by like searching, I found a PDF version of it. So I'm not sure what the deal is with this book. Could not find it even on Amazon, which is rare. It kind of reads like fan fiction-y. I haven't read that much though, because I actually think like the writing level, which I feel so bad saying this, but it feels like something I would have written in like 8th grade. I'm like not even kidding. Like Twilight-ish fanfic, but not. I'm not even sure. Essentially what happens, that whole premise happens, this girl goes to this ball, this is all like really early on, meets the king immediately, like they're mates, and he's like drawn to her and like runs over to her. I don't know, it's very strange because they're like really attached, but they also don't really sleep together for a while. I don't know, like the mate thing didn't make sense because they made it seem like, oh, it's this like feral-y thing that they like are drawn towards each other. Also, the king is a lichen, and apparently you turn into a lichen if your mate is a lichen, which I was so confused, never read anything about lichens before. And when I looked it up, I thought they were like werewolves, but like werewolves in theory are like only turn with the full moon, so like in Harry Potter. And lichens are like the animagus, so they can choose to switch, from what I got from looking it up. But the author never explains any of this, or explains like very not great explanation. So I was so confused. And the things that they did explain were all like they're faster, stronger, taller, like that's how their bodies were changing, but it just didn't really match up with that definition. So I was just so confused for so much of this book. I need to be really quick because this is so long, but yes, weird book. The writing was like not great. Like I feel like it like over explained things that like shouldn't have needed to be explained, you know, like why someone was talking about something, or like I don't know, it just like was not great, and I feel really bad saying that. Writing was not great. There was potential for the storyline, which is why I kind of kept reading. And technically I actually even have a few pages left. Oh, hi Hazel. Oh look, someone literally just like sat on my little tripod thing. Thanks, Hazel. She's real cute though, like look. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna be done with this little rant. It was strange. There really was like not much plot. Like I guess what just happened after that, she like moves in. Like first she's kind of like, I don't want to do this because I was just like in love with this other guy, but then I also do because like I'm really drawn to him. It was like a little bit will they won't they, I don't know, also was a little weird. But then of course someone starts attacking them, and that's kind of what the plot is, but it's also super vague and not clear. And I think I was maybe like 3/4, 2/3 of the way, maybe 2/3 of the way, when like the main event, what seemed like was the main like climax of the story, has occurred. I haven't really continued much past that, but very strange. I just didn't really know what the point is, like what was going on. Someone's like attacking them, but even the person who's like attacking them, like the reasoning behind it is not clear. Maybe I should finish so I know for sure, but so many things are weird about this book. It just was not well written, and I can't believe I stuck with it, to be honest. It was like one of those things that's like so bad it's kind of amusing. I was like, oh my god, what is this? So yeah, that was The Lichens Queen, and I'll stop for now and do another check-in tomorrow, but I'm just gonna pretty much read for the rest of this afternoon. I need a chill time. I do need to work tomorrow, but tonight I think we're gonna go to a friend's house for the evening, so that'll be really nice. So yeah.
You're something beautiful, electric chemical. You take my breath away, feel my emotions push and pull. Shooting stars in your eyes, you're bringing me to life. Love how you say my name, you make it feel like summertime. When you reach out your hand, I find myself
It's Monday morning, and I did not really check in yesterday. I pretty much just read a lot. I finished Daughter of No Worlds, my book club book. So I'm gonna be gone this week, so I won't be at any of the meetings until the following week, and we're supposed to have it done by then. So it was really good. It's about Tasana and Max. I think I explained this, but Max is, oh my god, one of like the best characters I think I've ever read. His backstory, heartbreaking. I'm supposed to get the other two, but they're not supposed to come in until Sunday, so that's what's happening. Yeah, that was my week in the life. I hope you enjoyed and are doing well, and yeah, have a great day. Bye.